On lighting, okay. Get myself set up here. Okay. I'm trying to get my tablet up so I can see what's going on here. So I'll get to your chats. I have to wait until I can see them. Okay. One second. Let's get this thing on. Hope everyone is doing okay today as I start my tablet. So when I do the vertical line, I typically use the forward-facing camera. So I get the chat at the same frequency that you do. So let's get this thing set up here. So I can think I see it. No, I don't want to buy anything. All right. There I am. Oh, so how you all doing today? Let's chat up here so I can see you. Come on. What are you doing wrong here? All right, hold on. Okay. Come on. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, that's better. Now I can kind of see what's going on. So, how is everybody? Hope you're all doing well. What does that mean? What does that mean? Hold on, wait. Back up, hold the train. Hold the train. Greetings, Germany. How are you doing today? Dommy. I hope I'm saying that right. Peanut butter and jelly the long way. You may have to elaborate on that one, but I hear what you're saying. Sort of, kind of. I have no idea what you meant. So how is Germany today? Is it cold? I wish it were cold here. That's the only downfall to being on the west coast of California. It's just, or on the west coast, but in California. I'm not on the west coast of California. I'm more in the armpit of California. Surrounded by orchards, constant allergies, and sometimes heat. A lot of heat. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Basically, what's behind me is the one engine off of the drone that I'm building. And of course, you got the fogger behind there for some effect. That's the lighting, and then of course one section of the drone. So I'm building 4 of those engines, and they are all 3D printed, and they will put out alive. Collectively, with the PETG, I'm looking at 472 pounds of lift. The drone's roughly 5 feet by 5 feet. The fan's 340 millimeters, and it's an 11-blade high-pass configuration. 2025. Well, that's definitely cooler than here. Yeah, 50 or 60 sounds about right. Here, high 80s, low 90s. Last week it was like 100. In here especially, it was 103, just radiating down from the ceiling in the shop. But that's because I got to get insulation above the deck in the attic up there. Hey, how you doing, Corrupt? Welcome. Frankie, well, it's your birthday today. Everyone wish Frankie a happy birthday. Because everyone here at DPC, happy birthday, Frankie! I wish I could use my stupid tablet here, and then I could actually... Like, what the heck? They changed up some stuff, didn't they? Hold on one second. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. No, I don't want to send that. What is this thing doing? Oh yeah, I heard about Hogan. That's crazy. I don't know what the heck I'm trying to find here. Okay, that didn't work. Birthday! Okay, I was trying to find the emoji. Hey Donnie, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Cardiac arrest. You would think that Hogan would be the last person that would drop from cardiac arrest, but I guess when it's time to punch your ticket, not much you can do about it. It's sad. We see a lot of celebrities passing. It was Ozzy yesterday, and it's like. I know everyone has a sentiment of everyone who dies is a good man for some reason. So, unless they're a woman, but you know my point. And everyone's like, he's in heaven right now, singing a concert. I'm like, he's probably not. He's probably not. I don't want to be cruel or anything like that. He's giving a concert to somebody, but it's not the heavenly host, I'll tell you that. Hogan, I don't know about. I honestly don't know if he was, religious or not, that kind of thing. So, it's possible. But I just sometimes it perplexes me that people will be, okay, this was a good person. Look at everything he did. So what? We all know the rules, right? So, everyone's a good man when they pass away. So yeah, that's the a lot of news. It's and I've seen this before. At my age, I saw childhood movie figures and stuff like that pass away. I grew up watching Bruce Willis. Now he can't even read or write. Doesn't remember he was an actor. I feel sorry for him. But it is what it is, man. Time passes. Yeah, that's the only way is you have to back to the Father through Christ. And that's what most people don't get. They think I can be good my whole life and get into heaven. Well, that's not how it works. If you're curious, read the Bible. It'll pretty much explain everything you need to do. And a lot of people will disagree with me or leave the chat or anything like that. But this is more of a debate kind of thing. What I do is experimental propulsion. That's why there's a 340 millimeter engine, high pass EDF, sitting behind me. That's one of four for a very large drone. And it's all 3D printed. Everyone's like, that's crazy, it'll never work. But then if you look at the first this is the Strike Ultra, and then the first Strike drone that I did was with just standard 70mm EDFs, and I built that. There's a maiden for it on one of the playlists. You can check it out if you like. People told me that wouldn't work either. Thank you, I appreciate that. That's the whole idea. The whole idea behind this is this one is going to be the flight worthiness platform. It's basically an aerial platform for a lot of different scenarios, targeting SAR-ops, search rescue operations, to kind of start off with, but high altitude surveillance. And I know everyone's thinking, well, if it's an EDF style engine, you're not going to fly for very long. But it's not just about that. It's about the fact that it's not going to be lithium polymer based power in the end. I'm using that for testing purposes, but in the end, it's going to be a collection of, I think it was H300, H60s, hydrogen, PEM. Yeah. So, cover the camera for a. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying. You're doing. What is? You got to explain that to me first. You got to explain it to me first. You want me to cover the camera, but you have to explain why. Bobby Miles, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Hey, keep coming back, checking out the updates and things like that, because that fan. I mean, when this drone's done, you're not gonna want to miss the maiden. No, I know what you're telling me to do is to cover. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you stopping by. But, I'm just curious on why. You have to understand my curiosity. You said cover the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit. No, I know who Lamar Jackson is. But why do you need me in it for the edit? I'm just curious. And then, I mean, if it's cool, then I'm for it. You want me to cover the camera and then uncover it and say something? I don't know what you want me to do. I have not seen the edit. I really haven't. There was one guy that did some car edits for me. And he told me to choose a car, and then he did an edit, which was pretty cool. And recover. So okay, script me on this one, because I'll play. I don't need to look it up. I figured someone will tell me eventually, where I'm going to see it on the internet, right? So you want me to just cover the camera with my hand and then just pull it away and start talking, or is there a line you want me to give? Best car? Rosvani Vengeance. Cover the camera and look away. You don't have to say anything. So you're going to cover the camera, and how are you going to see me looking away if I cover the camera? You got to explain this a little bit more. And then you just want me to you want me to cover the camera, look away from the camera, and then uncover it, like, because you want a side profile from like a covered cam. I don't want to get trapped into anything. Not saying that you are. Okay. I'll have my moderator help me with that one. Just she'll look it up for me and she'll tell me what's going on, and we'll get to it for sure. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I got her looking it up, so hold on 1 second. So, yeah, I got the moderator looking it up. Navo Aviation said hi. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. And the basically extremely large EDF that's sitting behind me. Am I going the wrong way? I'm trying to go this way. Okay. trying to get situated. But as far as the car, you told me. Void, welcome to the chat. We're just hanging out, chatting, getting to know everybody. Do I collect cards? It depends on what cards. Oh, it was a long time ago. You know, parents start you off with baseball cards, that kind of thing, and then it moved on from there. As I got older, it was like, you know, when Magic the Gathering came out, that kind of thing. Who am I? I am Drone Power Concepts, and I am a propulsion engineer, and I am basically 3D printing an entire drone with 4 engines that size.
You just go like that, cover the camera. That's it.
All right. Are you ready for this? You wanted to do the edit, so here you want. But was I supposed to look away? You want me to look away?
You can, but you're just going like that.
I'm just okay. Here we go.
There you go.
Good. All right. That's an oddball question, but I did say this was chat and hang out. What do I think of Bill Cosby? I don't know what I think. I mean, he's a sick man. That's for sure. Oh, how are you? I thought you said who. I'm sorry. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Good Lord, these screens are getting smaller. I'm doing well. Is it Amen? I don't want to get that wrong. I'm going to butcher names. I apologize. It's just the way it is. But to whomever was interested, this is behind me one of the 340 millimeter 11 blade EDF systems that I have built. It has part of the drone body attached to it already, and it's lighting rig for the engine. There will be lighting inside the actual full body. Do I have any snacks? When do I feel like this is a setup? None here. No, I don't. Let's see. But like I was saying, this is for a much larger drone, and yeah, it's going to be big. Everything 3D printed. The blades, the ductwork, the fan casing, the stator, the motor mount, everything. The only thing I did cut out of the MPC back there behind you, where the fan's sitting, are the heat sinks for the Outrunner's motor, because the top plate of the Outrunner is what gets the warmest. And I put fins that go out inside this, the direct flow of the interior fan, where the compressor would be in this setup. and it's to cool off the top plate of the outrunner, so I don't melt the PETG mount for it. Ultimately, all this is going to be CNC'd out of aluminum, carbon fiber, so on and so forth. But the main goal is to fly a drone that's 5 feet by 5 feet with completely 3D printed 340 millimeter engines, EDFs, not open prop, and you know, do it for a significant amount of time. You know, for the test flight anyway. It's got to, you know, you're looking at 3 or 4 minutes safe for a safe flight. It is 18S, so we are running 75 volt motors, 9,000 RPMs per motor. Do I have a favorite car? Yes, Rosvani Vengeance. Feel free to send one to me as soon as you feel like it. Who will go live in a couple days? Me. Do I believe in hedgehogs? Oh man. I mean, yeah, but that was a funny question. Love it. Chief 8, what's up? Welcome to the chat. How you doing? Appreciate you dropping by. Yes, I do believe in hedgehogs, especially Sonic the Hedgehog. And I grew up playing that on the Sega Genesis. That's how old I am. And that Sega Genesis was actually a vast improvement over the very first game console I had, which was a Commodore 64. That was more of a computer where you programmed your own games. It's just tobacco. YouTube doesn't like it, you know, because people like to report it. They called it an illicit substance, which to me was weird. But it is just a tobacco pipe, and I smoke regular tobacco. As you can tell, because if I smoked anything else, it wouldn't be this cool, calm, or collected. Yeah, the Karens drop in a lot. I get a lot of trolls, and I don't mind the trolls because I find them fairly funny. And I've actually flipped a lot of trolls, and they were subs where they actually come back every time I go live, just to throw out insults, you know, and which is funny to me because that's what you're sitting in your computer waiting for. I mean, really? But that's okay. But for the Karens, if they make this 18 plus, that's fine for me. I don't care if I'm just smoking tobacco. Because, I mean, I don't make my videos for kids anyway. You know? I mean, what am I going to do? Make a video for a kid and tell them how to build a 340 millimeter engine? No, I'm not. I mean, you know, I like to reinforce the hobby when it comes to drone building, FPV, experimental propulsion, doing your own thing if you want, you know? But I don't expect anyone to do what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, I advise against it because when you're running with 3D printed systems like this, you got to be careful. Everything has to be designed perfectly. This blade will spin right now on the 48 volt test ESC that I'm running it on at 5,000 RPMs. The blades are friction fit. There is no glue whatsoever. The main shaft is held on to the main hub of the fan by 4 8mm bolts. And that goes through a bearing system which attaches to the collet on the motor. And it's a 7070 110 kilovolt motor. that runs at 75 volts. How long are you on YouTube, and what's your niche? Well, my niche is experimental propulsion. I'm an engineer, so I do experimental propulsion. The parts that I can show you, which is this drone. It's an ambitious project. It's a big project. It's a lot of printing, and yeah, I kind of had to throw that in there. It serves two purposes. One, it looks cool, and it's because my garage that I converted into a shop doesn't have any kind of air conditioning in it. Turning off the lights, blowing a fan this direction on me, and then humidifying drops the temperature. Well, I appreciate that. I always love it when people come in to chat, hang out, see what I'm doing, talk about whatever they want. And that's what this is all about. That's what these lives are for. Get to know the people that want to sub to the channel and like the content, instead of just people subbing to the the channel and then me never talking to you guys. That's the whole point. And, I want to. It's part of the community communication aspect. So if there's something you guys ever want to do and you got a question about it, I can help you out with it, or you can even give me advice. If you see something and go, this guy's gonna really hurt himself if he doesn't fix this, that, or the other, we trade information back and forth, and that's how it works. Any chance you could show around the shop? I will show around the shop. Here's the catch. I do most of the live here first, and it's because I'm tethered to the wall with a power cable. The moment I unplug my phone, I did something earlier on when I programmed it to where it will tell me it is not finished in a female voice, just to be funny. So you'll know what I'm going to show you around the shop, because the phone will say I wasn't finished. So just sort of a comedy thing I did. But I usually will show around it. I put the fan over there on top of the CNC to kind of show everyone what it looks like, and to kind of give you an idea of how big this fan is. I'll go stand over there next to it. So, as you can see, I'm 6'4", okay, 290, and I'm a fairly large proportion to guys, so my hands are pretty big. This is 340 millimeters. Everything works on this fan. Motors installed, ESC, all that other good stuff. This lighting is going to go around the body structure as well. And that's what I've been printing lately, is the body structure. It's over on the bench. I've got a second fan that's almost complete. I'm just waiting for bearings and some other things. And, hope everyone likes the shirt. I'll show that one off, right? But yeah, that's how big the fan is. And she's fast. If you look at the playlist for this fan, you will see, basically, you'll see it. I spin it up at 48 volts to do structural integrity tests. And if the blades don't fly off, we're good. So you have a 25 centimeter sub in your car, so I know roughly how big that fan. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. I like the shirt too. Yeah, it's a pretty big fan, and if you think you've got 4 of them, and running at full RPMs, I only draw 100 amps, 75 volts, 18S packs, all 4 engines. Safely with the PETG, you're looking at 472 pounds of lift. The drone only weighs 70 pounds with all of its gear. So it's a very high thrust to weight ratio. Mitsuki Not even sure what L stream means, but why are you here if you're bored? Oh yes, we got a troll! Troll! Yes, troll! Welcome, troll. Oh, thank you. So you don't have to go watch anime. You're here. And you took all the time to type all of that out. So sounds like you're committed. You've been what? Yeah, that's somebody who literally just woke up. And was like, news alive, I just say some shit. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Mitsuba, you really sound like one of those mid-80s Japanese cars that never worked right. You know, the Mitsuba Maru. Sort of like a three-wheeled, you know, Smart 4.2. Did you leave already? Is that all you do, just jump in to say that? Timu Mitsubishi. That's exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. Where'd you go? Mitsuba? Did you just take off? He gave up, I guess. I win. Oh, I love it when they come in here. I do. It's like having a toddler run into your house and start insulting you, but it's the neighbors, so you can go ahead and kick it back out the front door. Yeah, if I'm looking at first off, let me explain something. I'm on the same chat delay as all of you because I'm using the front portion of my camera. Most people use the other side, and I think, and they don't talk to anybody. So you got a Mercedes-Benz AMG C536 coupe, and it's draining when it comes to fuel. Add some new boosters to it. What's the 0 to 60 on that thing? I'm still more okay. First off, I have a 06 Chrysler, so I've got the 5.7 liter Hemi. Not a bad car. It was given to me, so I was like, okay, I'll take it. 2.7 TDI. I just had the 5.7. Like I said, 5.7 Hemi. And it'll get up and go. The guy who gave it to me had already had 22s on it with some wide profile tires, and it was all towed out or cambered out so that it could hug corners pretty good. But basically, the guy just handed me something and said, "Here, resist the urge to drift." And I was like, no. I'm like, I don't even know why they put traction control in that car. I always turn it off. In your hands, 14 cents. Damn, that's got to get it. When you feel more pressure on your back in the seat than you do on your butt while you're sitting in the driver's seat, then you know you got yourself some torque. It's like you're fighting against the gravitation, like the G-forces, just like trying to get to the gas pedal, push it down even more. That's interesting. 132 kilowatts. You know what you'll find interesting is that this drone actually pulls 7.5K on the kilowatts. I don't know. I'm if I'm gonna buy a car, okay, being from a military background, being a disabled vet, stuff like that, and always having that mentality, of be alert, be ready. The Razvani Vengeance would be my choice. I just don't. People like to come out with these really nice new cars that are well, let's take an EV for example. I'm not gonna drive an EV because I'm a man. So I'm not gonna buy a Cybertruck because that's like for guys with man buns and rolled up Daisy Dukes. So it's like it's just not something I would buy. Not to knock the EV industry too badly, but you don't have there's no infrastructure to handle it, so it's kind of pointless. So my drone is. So your drone is better than my. Well, it's 7.5 kilowatts. It's not that bad. You said you got what, 132? You're a little bit above me on the power range, but my go-to car, Razvani Vengeance, if I could afford one. It's gas-powered or diesel, I think. But for me, it's the vehicle I want. If I'm going to invest in a vehicle, I'm not going to drop 30, 40, 50K on just regular street car. I'm going to put what I can, when I can, if ever, into a really good armored sort of luxury vehicle for me and my family. What can I say? You take the boy out of Fort Benning, but you can't take Fort Benning out of the boy. So yeah, Razvani Vengeance. All the way. I just don't have, what is it, like 130,000, somewhere around there? I think I gotta get more subs in order to afford that. Let's see. Semi-trucks been launched some conversion kits for the older pickup trucks for diesel to electric. Yeah. Yeah, where are they located? Oh, yeah. No, I see what you're saying. It's sort of a hybrid. Now, hybrids I get. That's like an emergency situation. Like, I'm either out of electric or out of gas, but I can still get to where I'm going. That I get. That I understand. It's not meant for climbing hills or whatever, but, it'll get you to safety. It'll get you to where you can get gas for the, in the hybrid, things like that. So that definitely, that's a plus. Having a hybrid is a plus, I think. But pure electric, no. That ain't gonna cut it for me. Which is ironic because I'm building a massive drone that runs off of electric, but eventually it's going to be hydrogen fuel cells rather than lithium polymer based for the test flights. But really, the idea is to make sure that We've got good flight worthiness. So we are going to have this effect as we're flying. And then there'll be the same. I'm probably going to do a different lighting effect inside the body. Not that the lighting has a lot to do with the functionality of the drone as far as what I'm proposing this idea for. But, hell, when you're doing a maiden, it's got to have some flash, right? Yeah. Alright, gotcha. We'll be here. I want to take you to grow that wonderful beard. I've had this beard for years. This has actually been trimmed. It was way down here. But, you know, I had to I trim it up a little bit, you know, once it gets to a certain length so that everything kind of grows out even. But I've had it for just a couple of years. But, yeah. Wasn't really a beard guy before then. And then once I got it, I was like, what would I ever do without it? You know? Science World, how are you today? Welcome to the chat. Perfect name. Look at what I'm building back there. That's one engine for a huge drone. So yeah, we're looking, what is it, I think it's 4 point something, 4.1, or 4 to 1, or 4.1 to 1, I think, on the ratio, the thrust to weight ratio on that. All 4 of them. Yeah, I remember you. I've seen you before. You've been in here a couple of times. I know everyone's wondering, I'm like, wow, the guy's doing live again. Well, that's because it's not 112 in here. What's your job? You are a... don't remind me. I know, you were taking tests. You're a machinist, right? Am I right? Tell me I'm right. Because, like, I have bad time remembering names, and it's nothing personal. NASA. You were, okay, NASA, right. Oh, that's right. The last live you mentioned that. I remember now. But who was it that was talking to me about doing some tests? Was it you? You had some certifications you were having to complete, or something like that. And then you talked about you got the job at was it? I think it wasn't at JPL. There you go. You are what a lot of people want to be like. Free to be creative and living your life. Yeah, that's, you know, I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. This is what I want to do, you know, when it comes to I want to create. I always loved creating things. What's that chatting behind you? I'm alone in here. So when you say that, if you're hearing some chat, you're probably hearing what it is once I leave my computer to do a live. My daughter was going to go play Five Nights at Freddy's or something on the computer. You're probably hearing that through the wall. So when you say, yeah, it's my wife and my daughters. When you said, what's that chatting behind me? I'm like, I hope nothing. Somebody, like, long black hair girl grudging behind me. Oh yeah, Deadpool, yes. That's that magnetic mask, the one that comes apart in pieces. I had to print one of those. I mean, Does that move and have an app? The mask? No. It's just one you put on with magnet that comes apart, has the magnets all over it. You can put side. You can take the eyepieces out. I think you've probably seen it before. Chief B, have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. I can't put it on. It's this gets in the way. I should have actually measured my head before I printed it. But this was one of the things I was going to be like eventually giving away to somebody. I wish it would fit. The other one fits though. Hold on. I have to take the glasses off, of course. You guys wanted edit material. Here you go. Welcome to DPC. Cool. Nice. Although now I'm completely blind and can't read any of your chats. Can't see. Hold on. This will look even funnier. I still can't see it. You have to put lenses in these things, huh? Oh my gosh. I'm blind. So that's one of the masks. We'll put it over here. Yes, it was my voice. The mask is just a 3D printed mask. Oh, you don't have to send me anything. I appreciate it. I do. You don't have to send me anything. If you donate, if you choose to donate, trust me, it's I don't take it lightly. I appreciate every bit of it. But no one's obligated to give me anything. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. I did set up for the super thanks stuff, but I barely became partner, so I don't know how to use any of this stuff. All I know is there's a $1 button next to the chat, next to the emoji. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do. That is because realistically, I'm just what I do is I put it back into supplies and everything I need for printing more stuff, because this drone is taking 26 kilos of filament. So yeah. And I have another fan set up over there. Like I said, what we do is we'll, close to the end of the live, we'll bring the chat up, the lights up, and I'll walk you around, show you the work table and what we're doing. Not sure about the exact amount. Yeah, I don't know what they take, to be honest with you. I got to that point where they said partner, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they can do super chats or super thanks or stickers or whatever. But I'm not going to force anybody to do that, you know? If you do, you know? And it's appreciated, very much appreciated. As a matter of fact, anytime anybody donates anything, you're going to see your money at work, because it's going into that. It's going into the rest of this system. I've got 4 ESCs I got to pick up, 2 more engines. I already cut my heat sinks on the MPCNC. That machine was built. I 3D printed most of the machine, and then another friend of mine built the table for it. We should change it to a metal table. It would be more stable. But he did donate another work table and a box for me temporarily for the shop. That's over there. We're talking like a heavy iron table, which comes in handy. So I do have a Patreon. As a matter of fact, if anybody's interested, if you check my bio, I have the Buy Me a Coffee link. I have the Patreon, Instagram, Facebook. I've pretty much got all that stuff in there in the bio. So Latvia. That's cool. Where am I from? Central California, armpit of the valley. Been trying to climb out of this bowl ever since I've been born. Managed to go to Australia for a while, and then I did the smartest thing anyone could ever do. I come from a fairly dry climate when it comes to heat, so it's not bad. The desert wasn't bad, you know. But when you go to basic training in the middle of July in Georgia, you better be prepared for that. Now this is way before they took out. I went in. I went in because of 9/11, so that's why I joined. So it was a long, long time ago. CJ the Baker. What's going on, brother? I want to see you around in a bit. You're sure like, I haven't seen you around in a bit. Latvia. Sounds like an interesting place, Latvia. Why does it sound so familiar to me? Why does Latvia sound familiar? Where's it at from me? It sounds French. I don't know why. But it does sound familiar. Maybe from, I think I've seen it on my Ancestry or something. But yes, to answer your question, California. Okay, yeah, well that makes sense now. I think I understand. You're next to Russia. That must be an uncomfortable seating position. Or do you get along well with them? Dang, CJ, what are you doing, man? Speeding ticket 18 over and blah. That's right, kid. Is this me a drive? Yeah, it sounds like somebody was picking on you. Well, I mean, the whole license thing I get, but the speeding, yeah. So, I'm guessing that since you're next to Russia, you're in a fairly cold climate. And that would be enough for you to move. I'm not saying I'm going to move to Russia or anything like that. But, like I'm looking for like the perfect spot in the States where it's just, summer, what's that? Kind of hoping for another ice age. Kind of cool things down a bit. Yeah. Yeah, the language is rough. It just sounds like somebody talking backwards. But either way, molto importante now. Your license is suspended. I never got the letter. So they didn't send you a letter? Well, you can use that, dude. Bring it to court. Say they never notified me. $27. That's not too bad. That's like what, 60 degrees, 70 degrees. Christopher. Hola. How are you doing today? Welcome to the chat. All of a sudden, my accent has changed for some reason because you have more than one name. I, for some reason, believe you're British. But from the last name, possibly Spain. Last winter was non-existent, pretty much no snow. Well, that sucks. I want snow. Chief is back. Everyone celebrate. Chief is back. See, y'all talking like you got money to spend. I feel sorry for the poor son of a bitch who tries to steal my credit. You know how many people have tried? Ever since like LLC, you know, everyone's like, you know, they're like, you know, change the security because someone's trying to steal your credit. I was like, you know what? I want to watch somebody go in with my ID and my credit and try to buy something at a bank. I want to film that shit because I want to see the walk of shame as they come out. We picked the wrong guy, man. Oh, don't we all, man? We all wish we had money, you know? I mean, I'm just trying to build something new. This is going to turn into a quad for me. Not just a drone, but a quad that I can ride. I actually I'm trying to get one of those Carvera Airs. It's a CNC that's got a 4th axis, which will be perfect for my blade geometry, and I can do the hub and the main shaft and everything else out of aluminum. 7075, which would give me more security on the lift on this thing. You're talking 472 pounds lift capacity. While I can test flight worthiness with the PETG blade and the entire drone being PETG, I still want to alloy the hub, the blades, the main shaft, the collet that connects to the motor, and the bearing sleeves, and then I can 3D print, and maybe the stator, and then or the hub stator that holds the main bearings can be also alloyed, but the rest, like the interior fan casing, exterior fan ductwork, that can all be 3D printed because it doesn't take on a lot of stress. Yeah, CJ, I'm the same way, man. It's like, dude, if somebody tried to steal my identity, I'd be like, good luck. Oh, I'm Drone Power Concepts is a business now, and I did that to protect my designs on Fusion. And I'll be honest, I had one subscriber a while back that TJ knows this story. Who kind of, I feel sorry for him because it could have been substance abuse issue or something like that. So, you know, he's in my prayers. But it's just, he had this, he kind of lost it, you know, started posting stuff that didn't really make a lot of sense. I started to get worried. I didn't want it in the Discord chat. I didn't try to censor him, but I told him, I said, you know, bring it to another room, bring it out of the regular chat. And then he just lost it, like threatened my family, you know, threatened my minor children with his grown children. And I'm a veteran, so you can see how that might play out. So he was, I mean, yeah, he was acting like a nut job for sure. But you also have to look at people's circumstances. You know, they might be going through a substance abuse issue or having problems at home or something like that. So I try not to hold bad decisions that people make against them until you get the whole story. Yeah. Somebody say no vegan? Why did we say that? Oh, you're talking to someone named Vegan who made a comment, and then the name, that all fits together perfectly. Ignorant comment, Vegan. Welcome to the channel. We love trolls here. I mean, I love it when a troll comes in. Is that it? Is that all you had to say, Vegan? Or are you done? Or you got something else? You popping open another vegan fortune cookie to get another one? Go ahead, I'll wait. No more insults. Okay, so you were just clarifying something off the wall and completely irrelevant? I'm from California, Central Valley. If you're asking me, I don't know if you're asking somebody else in chat or not. So you walk into my channel? Well, I mean, I understand that they do, of course, but, you know, what about anything here would make somebody think that and then waltz in and ask the question? I mean, come on. So that's when you actually, you know that somebody's coming in to troll. Drone power concepts, when are the free guns and drones, and also CJ. You're funny, man. Always got those comebacks to burn somebody real quick, CJ. You're good at that. You're fast. That's when I got pulled over for speeding. Latvia sounds like, I mean, I'm sorry, but Latvia sounds like, no offense, like maybe where Vlad the Impaler came from. Like you say Latvia and I'm thinking, Dracula? No offense. Just the way it is, yeah. Eamon, didn't you said hi already, right? Or are you saying hi to somebody else? Well, if you aren't, hi again. Oh yeah, Romania. Yeah, of course. I'm trying to joke around here, man. Stop throwing facts out there. You clucked by accident? Are you of the AVN variety? Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. That's what I was saying, man. You didn't have to correct yourself. We knew. We were having fun with it. But I appreciate you stopping by, man. I do. CJ. That's funny. That is funny. You guys are a great group. I haven't had any real trolls come in, which is somewhat disappointing. I think they've learned. I think what it is, they've learned. They've learned that that I will break them down and make them subscribers. It's just what I do, you know. Mainly because they don't bother me. You know, you get a lot. I mean, a lot of people get a lot of trolls. You would think I would get a lot of trolls, and at the beginning I did. And now the trolls are like regulars. I don't even consider them trolls anymore. They're just like friends. Just friends now. Some of them are still pricks, but they're still friends. You know. You grew up in a farm? Why is that in parentheses? Feels like a setup. It's two. If you're talking about me, it's 250. It's 57. What planet are you on? It's 230. I think. Yeah, 240 almost. You grew up on a farm, DJ? Someone's coming up to my front door. Lock and load. It's probably just a delivery. 11 people. That's not too bad. I mean, usually it's less than that. Sometimes it's more. If I'm running the NPC and see for some reason people are watching, like I get like thousands of views. First time I ran that thing and just did a live of running the NPC and see, I had 12,000 people watching. I was like, what? Yeah, it's just soldier in me. I'm not. You never. Okay. There's some things you will never, ever, ever be able to stop doing once you get out of the military. One, being on alert 99% of the time. Two, you will never eat a meal in more than 2 minutes. I can't shake that at all. I don't like it when I don't know the recon of the area I'm going into, like if I'm camping or anything like that. It brings you back, you know? It's like, you know, like, I don't like going hunting because I'm like, I don't know. It's not PTSD. It's more or less, it's like, but that's just a deer. He's not going to shoot back. You need a challenge. It's just the way it is. There's so many things you take away from just basic training alone that they're habits that you don't forget. They're just like burned into you, you know? Guess the financial status of the cereal I gotta have fruity Dino Bites and crunchy almond honey oats. Oh, you're a DG shopper for sure. Oh yeah. DG or Walmart. And like me, you're broke as shit. But if you're happy, it's the moments, man. It's every single moment. If you're happy in those moments, who cares? I mean, I'm paying my bills down little by little, you know? But I have to put some into the channel. I want to keep, you guys entertained. I want to keep going with the projects. And hopefully somebody sees this as a decent SAROP drone and goes, this is something that we can develop and use to help people. That's the whole point of it. I mean, this thing's going to have gimbaling EDF engines at the final version. You'll be able to turn, this thing will be able to turn sideways like a book. 2 engines at the top go out, the other ones stay in low so that I don't end up getting prop wash from the first 2 EDFs down to the second 2 EDFs, and then it can worm its way through trees because the engine's gimbal. You can get to fallen victims, you can go through, precipice passes that you couldn't with a normal drone. You ain't got to worry about branches taking out your props or anything like that. You can map the ground with LiDAR for ground teams to get in and help stranded people. It can lift enough to pull people off of roofs in areas that are flooded, which would have been perfect for Texas, but I couldn't build it fast enough because I'm broke. But that's not a problem. I don't care. I get what I can when I can, and I keep going. And then eventually I'll have something that can help people. It'll be cool as shit, but it'll also help people. So that's the whole idea. Well, do you live in an area where there's wild animals, CJ? Can't you just go out and like pluck a small animal or something like that? I wouldn't let that stop you, man. You gotta learn how to live without infrastructure. I don't care if you're eating a squirrel, which are pretty tasty, by the way. Most people they wouldn't survive if they couldn't get their necessities from the supplied infrastructure. Stores, the trucks bringing in the food and supplies, things like that. You lost it? Can you tell me where you lost it? I'll go look for it. You're a farm. No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I'll help you find it too, man. Let's go look for this money. Oh, Chief. Let's retrace those steps, man. Let's find that money. Unless he lost it at a casino, then they probably wouldn't like it if we walked in there to try and get it. Ugh, 6K. It'll take 30 just to get started on my loans for my engineering degree. The problem is not a lot of people want to hire someone who has to use a cane most of the time. But that's kind of why I stuck with a design kind of protocol when it came to what career choice I had. I wanted to be somebody who create. I wanted to create things. I always have. I mean, I had a hovercraft when I was a kid, and it was a hovercraft, but I amped it up to where it would take off the ground. It's probably one of the first drones ever. But I put a G.I. Joe on the front of it, and it takes off, and the G.I. Joe falls into the blades. We're kids, so okay, we've got little bottles of gasoline around the outside of the blade. And this is back in the 80s and 90s, okay? So, I mean, that's the way we did stuff. G.I. Joe falls into the blades, the engine sparks, the gas goes up, the whole drone explodes, and it's just like still flying. It's still flying. Don't know how. It's like shaking all over the place. There's G.I. Joe body parts everywhere, and it's just, and everything's on fire. It was just one of the best days of my life. It was awesome. It really was. Yes, we hear your music. Thank you for sharing. Well, if you gotta get to sleep, you gotta get to sleep. I understand that. I appreciate you dropping by. Appreciate the conversation. Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, if you help out anybody, if anybody wants to help out anybody or do donations, help out CJ. He's been a good friend for a while, and I try to help him by, doing the showing off his bitter coffee for bitter people, which is good stuff, by the way. And well, I know you're making it, but it's not like you're gonna turn your nose up at a couple hundred. You're like, no thanks. Come on now. Yeah. Well, I would love donations or super chats, super thanks, or whatever this thing is down here with the dollar sign. I'd rather you help out CJ. He's gone through a lot, and it's his personal business. If he decides he wants to share it, he shares it. But, yeah, I'd help him out. Did you get the site up? Is the site up for the coffee yet, or no? Or are you just taking orders direct? Because if you guys want coffee, hit up CJ. I mean, help him out. He's good people. Yeah, he's taking orders directly, so, hit him up on his page, get his email, tell him, hey, I want some coffee, hook me up, It'll help him out, and it don't matter if I'm broke, help him out. Jeez, what are you talking about? He does. That's what he was about, man. It was called, the site was Breakfast and Bread. And you could get all kinds of stuff on there, not just coffee. So he could probably get you, what you're asking for. Unless that was an obscene comment that was veiled and I missed it. What are you talking about? What? Doing what? Kendrick. Are you talking about me smoking tobacco? I don't do those. Sorry to disappoint you. And I'm not going to say the word that you're saying, because YouTube doesn't like that crap. Is there something wrong with tobacco? So you guys are getting along and like, this is weird. We have a YouTube chat where people are getting along. They might say something that gets misunderstood. They explain it to each other. And they're like, cool, man, I get it. That's awesome. Yeah, totally. That's so weird. People on the internet getting along. Look, the whole chat room. Except we don't know what Kendrick is trying to start, so. Oh, you like that background? Yeah. Dude. That ain't just a background. That's one engine for a drone I'm building. VHS, yes. We all heard about Ozzy. It's, what do you mean you can just let that sink in? Yeah, that's a 340 millimeter 12 blade high pass EDF fan that I designed on Fusion 360. That entire thing is 3D printed out of PETG. Total thrust for the entire drone is 472 pounds. 18S packs, 9,000 RPMs per fan. David, are you asking me that or somebody else? I don't think I'm cool, but I'm alright. What is David saying? Would you rather watch? Oh God, David. Does your asshole ever get jealous of the shit coming out of your mouth? I'm not going to answer anything. I mean, he's not the first person that's come in and said the same exact thing. So stop watching the same reels or come up with your own material. Welcome to the chat. There's a heat advisory in Alaska. Is that what you said? What's a heat advisory in Alaska? Like 2? The Irish guy from The Gentleman. I'll take that. I assume it's a compliment. What about me looks Irish? Is it the beers? The kilt? Or these nuts? Could be any one of them. $80 in Alaska? Damn. King of the Hill. Let the planet heat up, we'll grow oranges in Alaska. Yeah, that'll work. Coolest? I did the accent. What accent do you want? A Scottish one! You got a problem with me, Gretzlaw? You look like a bunch of right boys. Well, let's step outside and see what you're made of. Eh? I'll show you. Hold up a mirror for you so you can see it for itself. Do what? From Red Dead? Is that what you meant? We might be playing some Red Dead later this evening. You know how I play that game. Try to play it right the whole time, end up shooting everybody. Who? I have no idea who that is. Dutch. Dutch, really? My God. I don't remember all that. You're talking about the characters out of Red Dead. Sounds like. I don't sound like no Dutch. I hate that son of a bitch. Oh, glory, how's it going? I do a lot of gaming on YouTube, but not a lot of people watch. I mean, it's I don't know what it is. The verticals, mobiles, whatever, they get more attention. When I play games, I do Ready or Not. I do Red Dead, Star Citizen if it's working, which it rarely is. Used to play Call of Duty before it turned into like a friggin' Fortnite version of itself. Then I just kind of gave up on it, you know. How is the little raccoon doing? Angry Wolverine? Isn't Wolverine always angry? You're like saying it like he's not usually. Money simulator. That doesn't sound legal. You don't know, to be honest, what? Like he's angry. Have you seen any of the X-Men movies? He's angry all the damn time. Are you serious? There's a simulator for that? You gave a raccoon ice cream and then tried to take it back? Are you crazy? I didn't know they had a simulator for that. They'll just make a game out of anything, won't they? It's a mystery to me how some of these things become popular on the internet. It really is. Some of the games that I see, like people playing Minecraft, for example, you know. When I was growing up, we were excited for better and better graphics. And then we get to better and better graphics and then decide that low-bit graphics is more popular, and I can't figure that out. And it's for a generation that never saw what we had to grow up with. So it makes no sense whatsoever. Lawnmower Simulator. People play these things? Yeah, he did do that to Wade, didn't he? It is actually not the best lighter I have. I just don't have any propane for the other one. NR2 fan? Cell phone simulator. What are you all talking about? You guys are confusing me now. It's not the best lighter I have. Actually, I have a few. These are decent. Not bad. Just gotta refill them every 5 minutes. Gotta go get more propane. This one's pretty good. It's a Zippo lighter. It belongs to my wife. She's probably gonna want it back now that she sees it. You cannot have it. It is mine. Hoopla. Yes, Jesus loves you too. Thank you for reminding all of us. A lot of people need to hear it. That I agree with. Ugh. So yeah, so when I do my next game stream, it's probably sometime this evening, maybe tomorrow. What do you guys want to see? I can tell you I've got Ready or Not, which is what I've been playing. I've got Elden Ring, which is cool, if not frustrating. Star Citizen, which I can't guarantee it'll work the entire time. I could download Call of Duty again, but like I said, it got real old. When I started bringing superheroes into it, I just gave up, you know? And then, what else is there? I know there's some popular first-person shooters out there. I'd love to give it a chance to, but I just don't know what people want to see. And to be honest with you, while I'd be checking it out for myself, I still want to entertain the people I'm streaming to. So, Ready or Not? Yes. Okay, well that's the one I'll do, because I just got into the home invasion tier on that one. I'd never really played the game before. I've had it for maybe 2 weeks. And so yeah, it's been fun. God forbid one of the bad guys take a hostage, because it just, when they start shooting at you and it starts doing that kind of tries to simulate the bullet whip, you know, the crack, you know, kind of blurs your vision, and I don't know, it's not how it really happens, so it's a little inaccurate, but yeah, usually the hostage doesn't make it in that game for me. Constant. Why is Chief gonna try and give you any money? I don't get it. Oh, you guys, dude, I don't be giving out PayPals in the chat. You guys need like DM each other or something, you know? You know? I help each other out. If there's any overflow, you can send it my way. I'm just gonna buy more stuff for the drone. Simon Wood. Hi. It's good to see you're doing well as well. Sort of. Like, did I say that right? Okay, I did. Jet99. Hi, how are you doing? I am from California. Where are you from? I'm from the normal part of California, not the like West Coast, where a bunch of implants and wokeness. You know, we're down here in the valley where people realize we got to work for a living. Why are you being mean to Old Glory? India. Did Pakistan ever calm down? Hey, CJ's cool. What are you guys talking about? You think I try not to funny? I have no idea what you're referring to, but I know CJ. Anything I'm doing anything to you? Well, Simon, it's probably because you were saying shit that made it ban worthy. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but... Wait, what? Simon got... Yeah, but you ain't gotta be mean to the guy. If you timed you out, you timed you out. Probably had a good reason for it. You know, don't take it personal. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I sometimes, you know, I practice, you know, being a sarcastic asshole, and I realize I don't need any more practice. I've already got it nailed down. What are you guys talking about? What request? You guys are like having your own thing going on in the chat here. Australia, heck yeah. It was kind of out of nowhere, Simon. Well, that's where you're from, isn't it? No. You don't have the energy to be an American patriot anymore? Well, that's what separates civilians from soldiers. Because it doesn't matter how long I've been out, I'm still ready to be a patriot. I mean, break into my house, you'll find out. I'm trying to read the chat, that's why I'm looking down at the tablet. I'm on the same delay as everybody else, so we all know that. Because I'm not looking at the front of the screen. Retro Bugs Bunny stuffed doll, 32,700 on auction. What? Is this something you're selling? Or that you're looking at? Retro Bugs Bunny. Who would... you know what? Hey, everyone collects their own things, I guess. Simon, have a good one, man. No, actually, it's just a humidifier. It kind of helps the temperature in here because I don't have air conditioning that goes into here yet, but it's cool enough to where if I keep the humidifier going, it will drop the temperature. It just conveniently looks cool the way it's set up in front of the fan. And that's no ordinary fan, you all know that. That's one of four. No, no, no. No, yeah, I'm in California and I've seen people do stuff like that. But there's no way I could ever do anything like that. It would be way, way, way too much for me. I'm like a serious lightweight when it comes to that stuff. Normally it's just for sleep, you know? A green supreme? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it does feel a little bit cooler. It does drop the temperature, but raises the humidity, so it's kind of a trade-off. Dang, Chief. I have no idea. You know what? I mean, if you've got... I don't know how to answer that. Are you posting something from your PayPal? Like a link to something? I don't know if you can put a link in there. You could try. I mean, but if it goes to something, you know, untoward, then I'll have to say something. Why do you want to put your PayPal link in the chat? Don't do that, man. I don't think it's safe. If you have, I mean, you guys can communicate directly, can't you? See, that's safer, right there. That's a safer way to do that. Don't give away any personal information in the chat. Is what I would recommend, because we never know who's watching, right? You know, those silent watchers that are waiting for any information to get on you so they can hack whatever you got. So just be careful. Let him cook. You need Taco Bell? Is it Buntro? How do you say it? I don't even know what in the world you are trying to say. Okay, Buntro, welcome, I guess. And I'm Maximus Decimus Meridius. Commander of the armies of the North, leader of the Felix Legion. Voltron, do not insult Voltron. You grew up watching Voltron. Who's that? Did you just say who's that to Voltron? Does your birth year start with a 2? Turn back? What are you talking about? What, to the Deadpool? The fan? My friend? Who gets me into the commuter lanes when I put it over the headrest? Wait, hold on. CJ, you were born in 2003. Did you just say that? Wow, I feel old. Yeah, I remember when I had to take. I remember when we had T-Rex parking, right? '22. So long ago. I was once 22. What the heck, Patro? It sounds like he said he's 30, and then it sounds like he coughed something up. Dreamman, year 2008, you're 6. Okay, congratulations. Good typing skills for 6. October. Nice cool month to be born. Man, to be young again, right? I'm gonna outlive all of you anyway, so it doesn't matter. I will live forever. What? Why are you? What's with the head slack, dear? That better not be directed at me, because I will come in there and I will do whatever you tell me to. Because I've been married 16 years and I can know better. CJ's like, all right, I got birth dates. Now we need socials. And the street you grew up on, don't remember that one. Or don't forget that one. Or your childhood nickname. Yeah, Costa, we've heard that one before. Every man has heard that one before. Design collab work. Not at the moment, really. About the only thing I'm trying to work with is a company that's helping me with the hydrogen fuel system for this drone. Appreciate the offer, though. Honestly, the collab thing kind of just is it's a gray area for me, because I already had one person that just donated to me and thought that they laid claim to my work. CJ, you remember the story all too well. That guy. So. That's why I turned what I'm doing into a business, and got everything secure. Actually, let's put it that way. I already have a tail number for this aircraft because of its weight. It's registered with the FAA. So When this thing flies, it's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be a while for a maiden just because it takes a long time to print 28 kilograms of PETG. 28 rolls, man. 28 to build this drone. It's insane. It really is. All with one printer. Blade by blade, piece by piece. CJ. Oh. So what's everyone's plans for the rest of the evening, wherever you may be? Because a little bit later, I'll be doing some ready or not. I think you'll all like the intro. So that's the key part, is you want to see that intro on Ready or Not when I go live. It's awesome. Oh, I don't like the flat. I mean, this is, how do you explain this? If you look at one of the playlists and you look up the Shrike V10 Maiden, there's one with music and there's one without. If you look up Shrike Maiden, there'll be one I did for a guy named Gary. He didn't like the music I put for the Maiden, so I took it out and did a clean one with no music at all. But in that video, you'll see where this idea started. It was a drone using EDFs, right? But nobody really wanted to tackle the project because they're like, it won't last very long, it won't fly very long. How do you run something that's pulling 340 amps on a SpeedyBee F405 wing? And that took a lot of basically me taking a APD 500X, which is a power distribution board that could handle 500 amps, which will give you some overhead, and pairing it with the stack on the SpeedyBee so that I could control the motors. And if you see that flight, you'll see that it was a very successful flight. I kept it in angle mode, which did limit some of the RPMs, but that's because I'm not an acro pilot yet. So angle mode is my friend. Hold on a second. I may have to text this person. If I can remember how. Here. On this watch. Dang it. Hold on. I'll be right with you. Where is he? He just called me. Come on, man. Oh, here we go. I'm doing a live. There. Now, maybe. Stop trying to call me. Yeah, the strike was a fun kind of jumping off point where I wanted to make it bigger. I wanted a bigger drone like that, but um, bigger than 70 millimeter. But when I started looking into the larger EDFs, like the really powerful ones, like the Schublers and things like that, they wanted like $5,000 an engine. I'm like, well, screw that. I'm just gonna design and build my own and run it off of a Flip Sky skateboard motor and an 18S ESC. And so yeah, it's running on 75 volts, 9,000 RPMs per motor. So yeah, I do have a Discord. It's in the bio. There's a link to it there. You can join up. Trying to get more traffic there, but I keep missing the Discord notifications. So I'm still trying to fix that too. Thank you. Thank you, Jericho. Yeah, I wanted to kind of have the first completed fan in the background so you guys could see what we're dealing with, like the size of it, and kind of see if it's something you're interested in, that kind of content. Not a lot of people are interested in this kind of content. Can't quite figure out why. I mean, I'm building a 5 foot by 5 foot drone that was completely 3D printed, and can lift somebody up off the ground. Yes, everyone subscribe. And now you can join as a member. I have that option available. I'll have eventually member content. I kind of felt like it almost feels like a dick move though. It's like I have memberships that you guys can join up, to support the channel and then get access to member perks. But I feel like I'm jipping everybody if I just have members only videos. I feel like I'm leaving people out. Might not be able to afford to be a member or have the extra, because I know I can't most of the time. But I don't want to leave them out, 50 by 70 millimeter. Not sure of the power. Likely 6,000 watt capable, 165. I haven't seen that motor. I'll have to check it out. But I've got a combined thrust of 472 pounds on this drone, so that's definitely capable of payload, considering the drone itself is only 70 pounds. And that's overestimating. I was overestimating the weight. It may be lighter than that, but I'm well over 4 to 1 on the thrust to weight ratio. So, thank you. I appreciate that. Is your name not so important? It's original. But yeah, that's actually, it's not just background accoutrement for the channel. That's a functioning fan. And if you look under the 340 millimeter Shrike playlists, the Shrike Ultra SAROP drone playlist, you'll see a lot of testing that I did with that engine. I've already spun it up a couple times. That is a functioning EDF engine, completely 3D printed. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't understand. There's a lot of people that are like, dude, I don't understand why your channel hasn't blown up, And I'm like, well, it's sort of niche content because people want to see FPV, they want to see drones, they want to see drone racing, and they're really into the small FPV quads, and that's not me, I don't mind them. I'll build a couple. I got a frame for one I printed that's pretty cool. to hold the GoPro, so I can have some aerial footage when I take off with the Strike Ultra. Or I may mount the GoPro directly on the drone. Yeah. A lot of people don't. I don't get a lot of subs. A lot of. I don't know why. You know. Maybe I'm just not good at it. Person 1928. I think most of that stuff is legalized, isn't it? In some states, anyway. Thank you, King. Thank you. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Not just the background. And I hate to. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's part of a drone that I'm 3D printing. That's a functioning engine. Yeah, I heard about Hulk Hogan. And then it was Ozzy right before that. So it's like, these things happen in threes. So let's just wait for the last one, see who it's going to be. Yeah. Ozzy's no longer with us. Halfway around the world. Nice. Where are you at the moment, if you don't mind me asking? I'm going to guess Australia. Queensland. Possibly Brisbane. Okay, Middle East. Wrong way. I understand. Close. Not close. But still on the other side of the planet. Oil country. Would you like some democracy? You know, that's how we do things, right? Oh, yeah. Oil country. The entire Middle East is oil country. All of a sudden, King needs some American freedom. You shouldn't have said you had oils, kind sir. I get what you're saying. Trust me, I know. You guys are a good group. I'm surprised I haven't got more trolls. Nancy, no, Nami AC88. Fingers crossed, number 3. I don't even know what that means. You're gonna have to elaborate. You're gonna have to elaborate a little bit. Lori, you got company. Let me guess. A raccoon. Your mom. I can see Jay breaks out the your mom jokes. You brought the Middle East. Find your what? You guys still trying to like contact? I mean, can't you guys get your emails from your bios and just contact each other that way if you're trying to help each other out or whatever? Sounds like you guys are overcomplicating stuff. Usually, if I borrow money from somebody, they don't know it for a while. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Good night, Chief. You have a good one. If you're throwing around money, you can become a member too. I'm kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to. Oh, you guys are cool. Got a cool group today. Probably not that many people watching, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I try to do these chats so everyone gets to know each other. Subscribe to the channel, share it with their friends. That way when they look behind me and they say, you know, and they look at the fan and they go, wow, that's a great prop. And I'm like, that's not a prop. That's one engine to something I'm building. They're like, what? Yeah, I literally have... I have to set it on a 5-gallon bucket that I got cutouts on. And then I have to chain it down on both sides before I test it even at 48 volts. And it's designed to run at 75. So, yeah, 9,000 some odd RPMs at 100 amps. So that's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed. You're like, I gotta go to sleep, man. I'll do it in an hour. You got Ace Hardware there? Is it cheaper than like in the US? You have an Ace Hardware in the Middle East. Yeah, Cosset. Thanks for dropping by, man. Get some rest. We'll see you again soon. Damn. Ace Hardware in the Middle East. Wonder if my points will still work over there. No tax and low tariff. Well, I'll bet you a shit ton of money they ain't selling copper wire, pressure plates, or ammonium nitrate. Just a joke. Just a joke. Okay? Not trying to be stereotypical. I was making a joke about stuff like that too, you know? But it was... I mean, there's cool places there. Like, not all of the Middle East is how the West seems to portray it. It's not like you guys are running down aisle 7, you know, and hearing on the intercom, "Welcome to Home Depot. We have an Allah Akbar on aisle 7." You know, it's I imagine it's just like chill. Like here, most of the time. So yeah, for me, you got air conditioners. You're stepping up in the world. Hell, I don't even have one in here yet. Damn. 52? It's okay, it's a dry heat. I remember when I was there. I just said that. That's what I was saying. It was a bad joke. It was a bad joke. It was a bad joke. Don't take offense to it. No, I made a lot of friends over there. You know, I'm gonna be honest. Australia was a little bit more fun. Wasn't shot at as much. CJ. That's funny. It's HIKI gamer. Don't know how to pronounce it. Welcome to the chat. Hello, how you doing? Welcome everyone. We were just discussing shopping at Home Depot in the Middle East. It's like, yeah, could you help me out? I'm looking for the lumber. I couldn't find it over. Okay, you know, bullet crack noise. It's just a joke. I'm just saying, you know. I'm just being funny. Don't take any offense. No alcohol in the Middle East? Uh-oh. Yeah. No alcohol in the Middle East, huh? Except Dubai. You know, I keep seeing Dubai, and I feel like at any moment it's going to take off and fire its thrusters and leave the surface. That place is lit up. I mean, that place is insane. It's like we think we have some nice mansions and skyscrapers here, but you go to Dubai and it's like this is a different planet. Air conditioned streets. They air condition the streets, guys. There's like literally vents that blow cold air. Mm-hmm. You know? Like they're expecting tourists that are not used to the heat. But yeah, that's Dubai's a trip. Yeah, that's true. It's definitely a generational riches, the wealth that brings you to Dubai. I personally think that I would love to just visit, you know, go there and visit. But with the way the world is, it's about, you know, you never know. With my luck, I'd get there and there would be like World War III. So, I don't know. That would be my luck. You're like, wow, this is great. What do you mean it's sunrise? It's only 3 a.m. Yeah, feel like that's how it would be. That would be my luck. You know, I'd have to visit it with someone who has better luck. Yeah, the world is chaotic. Extremely chaotic. But the interesting part about it being chaotic is I'll finally get to use those 308 Cavium rounds that I got from Venezuela in 1989. So, either way, it's a win-win. Yeah, that place is nuts. But it's beautiful. Can't we all just get along so we can enjoy the world together? Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of that going on. Not laughing at the planes falling, but your point, mainly. I feel like the new trend is manufactured disaster, manufactured chaos. The government wants you to trust them, so they want to be your savior. So, got to manufacture a little bit of chaos if there ain't anything going on, and then save the people from it, and then take absolutely no responsibility for your actions. And that's typically what ends up happening with some governments. And it's stupid, you know. But like, why is Texas flooding right before, like, when they were doing all the cloud seeding, and then Texas floods like crazy? Yeah. And they're like, I just stop playing God, you know, and just, I mean, the world's gonna shake our asses off of it as soon as it's ready. So you ain't got to help it along, you know. Yeah, they are. They're like, you know what? This might be a 747, but who needs a hydraulic system, right? They can do it by hand. You got pilots in the cockpit. They're just like, bang to the right. Yeah. It's like, sir, we can't take off. Why? They only gave us one wing. They're trying to cut costs. You know, tariffs. It's all right. We'll fly sideways. We'll just rudder our way all the way to the destination. May have to suspend the drink service. Yeah, they all do it. They all do it. The funny thing is, when God shows up, there's gonna be some splaining to do. Yep. That'll be interesting. All I want to do is create a cool drone that might be able to help somebody in the future. You know, in Dubai, if I marketed this as a super drone instead of a supercar, I could probably sell it for a pretty penny. After all, it's basically an aerial platform. If I had to categorize it, it's a multi-role vehicle. So you can go anywhere from surveillance, search and rescue, reconnaissance, tactical. If the U.S. Army is watching, you know, I take grants and funding all the time. So, yeah, I mean, this design is unique because of the fact that it's, you know, inducted fan. It's not like a regular heavy lift prop where you have most of the problem people have with a heavy lift drone, like the DJI stuff, is that yeah, you've got heavy lift, but you're running off of props, carbon fiber props. If one breaks, that's it. Mine is designed to function as a tricopter in the event of an engine failure. So if I lose one turbine, it will automatically go into like Terminator tricopter mode, and it will continue to fly and can still land safely. Plus, there will be the addition of drogue chutes, emergency chutes, soft landing thrusters if I have to. You know, just the basics. Hold on. Make extremely lightweight. You mean TPU tires to turn the propellers when you turn sideways? Like tires? Like you can just go whoop, right across the dirt. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's not supposed to be for entertainment, but because of how much I've had to put into this as far as money goes, I had to make an entertainment platform so that I can continue the work. Not only because I want to share it with everybody because it's cool, but because if I do it all on my budget, it's going to take 10 years. If people help out, like what they see, become a member, donate, whatever they do, no one's under any obligation to do so, obviously. But if it's something that they're willing to do because they like what they see, that's what YouTube's about, right? So, still trying to hit that ad revenue mark, you know, because I mean, I've got the partner program thing. That's only for like super chats, super thanks, super stickers, and whatever the hell all that is. I'm trying to hit that hour mark for the ad revenue, because to be honest with you, that's what's going to keep things going for me here, while still trying to, you know, take care of a family and keep the research going, keep the work going, you know, because we're not going to stop at this drone. When this one's done, we're doing something else. It might be a little bit smaller, might be a little bit bigger. You never know. The Javelin is still on the table. It's one of the things that I'm still working on. So I'll be definitely revisiting the Javelin build. I did some preliminary designs and test flights. I know what changes I have to make to it. It's a VTOL tail sitter jet with no landing gear and a double rudder, or a double stabilizer rudder, top and bottom. So it takes off vertically. Jet's basically pointed straight up. And when I VTOL it, I actually rotate the entire flight controller. So it'll sit flat like this in drone mode, and you've got your 4 engines, because it's got engines top and bottom of the airfoil. And then when I take off, I'll start moving forward, get up to about 20 miles an hour, close to it. Then I'll hit the transition. That'll rotate the flight controller vertical to match the body. And then at that point, the ailerons push in so that it tilts it forward, and then I go full throttle. And then it's basically in jet mode. And once you come in for a landing, you just come in with a high alpha, and then as soon as you're comfortable with how slow that high alpha is, before it stalls, you flip it back into drone mode. The flight controller goes back to drone mode, and then you can control it and land it as a drone. Yeah! TJ, you rock! So that's what a super sticker looks like, huh? Weren't we just talking about chickens a little bit ago? Yeah, I've got to actually have here. You know what? I have TPU that I got, not the AMS TPU like I showed you before, but a standard roll of TPU like Reality. And I noticed something on the X1 Carbon. Even the tension of pulling that thing, even if it's on, I even put in Teflon, like a dry Teflon coating on the inside of the spool, so it would pull it. But the problem is TPU is kind of heavy, so when it wants to pull it, because you have to disconnect the AMS to run the TPU through, it'll do it, but there's a stretchiness obviously in the TPU that confuses the input sensor on the extruder input. So it asks you if it sees material coming out, but it will under extrude if it's under any load whatsoever. So you literally have to unwind a bunch and then let it go ahead and pull it in. And this is just because of the weight of the spool. So everyone's like, well, put a roller on the back. Well, I was going to put a roller on the back, but it isn't just the roller that's the issue. It's the weight of the spool and the fact that before it pulls it to roll it, it's stretched it out enough where you get a severe under extrusion on the plate. So the best thing to do is to literally like sit there and unwind a bunch and let it hang, and then let it go into the printer by itself under no load on the actual material. And then it'll actually pull it through it and it'll print and it won't under extrude. And that's on the X1 Carbon. So that's how that works. So, and it could be that I just need to change the extruder out because I've run that extruder for probably 3,000 hours. But if I change the extruder and it works, the problem is we still have that gear that's pulling in, which obvious, it doesn't make much sense because you're pulling it in, the gear's right here, so it's going to push it to its original dimension before it runs it through the hot end. So you would think it wouldn't be a problem. But for some reason, as it's pulling that stuff through, it's just that much, whatever stress that stretches out that material causes it to under extrude. Now, you can do a flow calibration and it'll come out great looking. And then it'll start printing, and if it has to pull its own weight on the spool, it's gonna under extrude. The the arm that actually shows that in the extruder that the printer actually has filament in it gets confused because the dimensions, it has this swinging arm inside the top of the entrance of the extruder, and it uses the diameter of the filament coming through to push that arm out. Well, if it rotates in at all because it's stretching the filament out as it pulls it, it thinks that there's no filament in it, so it asks you on the screen, you get an error code, can you see filament coming out? Because I can't read the filament going in. So that could be an extruder issue on my end, but realistically, I think it's just because it's TPU and it's heavy and that stuff sticks together. Kopliker? I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. So my next option is I'm just going to get another extruder, just the actual extruder unit, not the hot end, and pop it in there and see if that helps, or just find another one of my extruders and pull the infrared sensor and that bar that's inside the input of the extruder off, and then replace it and see if it makes a difference. But one of the tests I ran was letting it pull it from the spool itself, which stretched the material out and under extruded it. And then I would unwind a bunch and let it run that with no tension on it. It extruded fine. So it's literally the tension from the TPU. So the weight of the spool. So you almost have to set up your own kind of motorized unwinding system, like a small stepper that goes along and sort of unwinds it slowly as it's pulling it in, so there's no tension on the TPU. And then you ain't got a problem. Now the AMS TPU is way more rigid, but it works with the AMS and it still works fairly well. Now I don't have any more TPU for the AMS. Otherwise, that's what I would have done the landing pads for that engine. But since there's going to be 4 of them, I want to make sure I have enough clearance and enough, the rubberized landing pads. So I was going to go with the softer TPU. So I put the extension on the back. I guess I could try to show you. We'll set it back up there. I've got my battery pack in here holding it, so. Oh, she's a little heavy. So the TPU pads are going to go on the bottom here. So I have landing gear for it. I'm trying to set this on the chair for a second without dropping it. This is a fully functioning fan. Just so you don't know, I have a tapered roller bearing in there. It keeps everything nice and straight. So the landing pads are going to go down here. This is basically 1/4 of the drone with its body part. Yes, the wires for the motor are coming through through here in the body. The Arduino's in here that runs the lighting. That'll also run the body lighting. And there's 4 sections that are just like this, that when they're mated all together makes one full, very big ass drone. So I kind of set this up here just to kind of show everybody what I was doing. And to give you kind of an idea of how this thing looks, how it functions, that kind of thing. So well, the hole in the spool smaller? Yeah, I see your point. But the problem with this stuff is TPU has a much higher density and it sticks to itself on the spool. So it's got to pull it out off the spool. It's not only got to pull the weight of the spool, it's got to pull away from itself. So it's sort of a, and it could be the brand. It is Creality. It's not a standard TPU from Bamboo Lab. I don't know how they differ because I've never bought TPU from Bamboo Lab. So what I was thinking of doing for TPU is either since I'm just doing landing pads, I'll just run it off the Ender 3 and see how that works. Or just unwind enough to where I can print the pads, because they're not going to take that long to print on the X1 Carbon. And then put them on the bottom of that. I have the other fan. And I'm going to take you guys around the shop here in just a minute so you can kind of see what's going on. So the interior of the fan, this is fan 2. And I'm kind of just getting things situated with this one. The fan itself is done. The main shaft, the hub for the bearings, the casing for the motor mount, and the fan itself. This is the clockwise rotating fan that's counterclockwise. So this will be for the front. This is for the bow section of the drone. Basically, I have to finish getting this fitted and then do the same duct work I did for that one there. I've already printed up its body part, like that one does, and then they all go together, carbon fiber rods. And you know what? Since we're getting close to the end of the stream, I'm going to get the lights up and show you around. All right, hold on. This is what I warned you about. My phone's going to tell you it's not finished when I unplug it. Hold on, let me. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Make a different spool adapter. Less rotational axis. Less stress on the material. It's a good idea. I'll take it into consideration.
I wasn't finished.
And you never are. Okay, so let's see. So we've seen, I just kind of ran this for fun. There you go. All right. The fan, which normally sits here on this bucket, I got a 4x8 sheet I want to have to bring in here to kind of set on the table so that we can get everything started up. Because this has a very large footprint. That's the MPCNC that I was cutting the heat sinks out on. Those are the heat sinks. This is one of the body parts for the opposite side. This is one that I'm finishing up for this fan here. This is the battery platform. There's a tray that goes here that holds the three of these 10,000 milliamp 22.2s to give me 75 volts total once fully charged. That will sit here. On the top of that, I have a bus bar section because they don't have a power distribution board that can handle this 600 amps at 75 volts. So I'm using bus bars, and then I'm just running the control wire from the ESCs to the SpeeDB, which sits on another platform above the top. And you can see how thick the body is. We have carbon fiber rods that go in and hold everything together, including the actual motor itself. All carbon fiber rods that'll go into here. Plus, I'm going to go back around with a fiberglass tape, and then I'm going to epoxy this section here so we got some strength. Just paint it on. Probably the same thing with the rest of it, you know. But basically, that's where we're at. We're getting pretty close. Engine 2 is about done. Except for the ductwork. I have the rest of the main shaft parts here for that. Wait for bearings for the interior bearings for this. And the tapered roller bearing. That's what keeps it stationary from the bottom. And then we use these collets attached to the back of the main shaft, which have a 10 millimeter shaft, which attaches to the Flipski 7070. 110 kilovolt motor, which runs at 75 volts. And that's where we get our RPMs. The ESC obviously is a Mad Components 120 amp 18S ESC. That's what we want because we want the full 75 volts off each motor. So flight controller, SpeeDB F405 wing. Probably their newest version, just so I can make sure I've got everything, you know, going right. Am I pulling on wires here? Probably. These battery packs work great as far as powering because I could run this for days and it just will not die. Hi, Deadpool. So, yeah, this is a very, very powerful fan. And the ductwork, just like the Shrike, the first one that I did that had the 70 millimeter EDFs on it, I basically did it the same way. We have a cutout which stops any kind of suction to the ground on the ground effect, gives somewhere for the air to escape. So when it takes off, you're not stuck to the ground. The rubber pads will give it another 5-10 millimeters of height. That gives us great motor clearance. I didn't want too much because I didn't want a lot of ductwork because I didn't want to affect the actual natural flow of the motor. This is the heat sink. Later on, we have a Peltier circuit adaptation to refrigerate this off of a 12-volt system. And then it'll have heat sinks on this side of the Peltier that the fan will cool down to cool down the hot side. And then the cold side will get refrigerated and then draw heat off of the front end of the Outrunner, which will basically keep it from transferring heat from the motor through the bolts to the PETG motor mounts. Now, eventually, all of this is going to be CNC'd. The motor mount, the stator casing, the main hub, the main shaft, and of course the hub and the fan blades. So that's why I'm trying to get that Carvera Air, because it's got a 4th axis. So it's going to give me an opportunity to actually machine these blades out. And it's just big enough to do the job. So that'll come in handy. Turn off the humidifier. Sleep, young one. So, yeah. We have our front stabilization bearing here. That's for when it's not on its vertical axis. So that helps out a lot. It's more of a precaution, not very necessary, since there is a tapered roller bearing at the rear. So in future adaptations, that might be removed. But for this proof of concept test and this flight, we're going to keep it the way it is. And then eventually, we won't have arms here. It'll be a gimbaled system. So the engine can actually move out and gimbal. So that's what we're going for. And like I said, Maya E said hi. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. We're just about ready to wrap things up here, but I did want to show you around. So, as I said, lots of filament. Running it on a TX16S. And then I'm going to be running this one for the GoPro. This is this 5-inch that I'm going to be putting together. It's either that or I'm going to run it on the actual drone to make sure that, we've got some visuals on the drone while we're flying it. So I don't know. What do you think? Do we want... I'm going to be filming from the ground, but do we want to film it from the air, from a different perspective, or do we want to have that camera on board? So, yeah, I'll be on the server after. Don't worry, I got to get something to drink, and then I'll catch you on there. But other than that, that's pretty much it. That's what we're doing. Hey, buddy, how's it going? You and Deadpool getting along? Oh, I am going to be adding those to the drone as well. It's another lighting rig that I made. Love using Arduino and NeoPixels. I thought about adding these to either the underbelly or somewhere inside the engine, or even at the top here, because they'll sit perfectly right here. I could run the wire across. Because one of the goals of actually this Maiden is to get a UFO sighting. Okay, this whole thing's going to be glowing. It's something that no one has really ever seen before. It's going to make a... Can you imagine the noise? You've played with EDF jets that are 70 millimeters and stuff like that. Imagine what this is going to sound like with 4 of these going at like 9,000 RPMs max. I mean, it's just going to be insane, the sound. Which is why I had to get a tail number for the thing, because of the weight. So, the Maiden's going to be fun. Why did he say something like he wasn't supposed to say? I didn't see what he said. Why did he get timed out? Oh, it's Temu Mitsubishi. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can time out all you want. But, like I said, that is where we're at the moment. This chat was just to get to know some new people and to have some fun. See if you like the content. See if you like what's going on here. If this is something you want to keep watching. You want to see this thing fly. Subscribe. Share with your friends. You can join if you like. I'm not going to make you. But, luck will come your way if you do. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. Anyway, the point is, this has been DPC, and I want to thank everyone that was watching. I want to thank you all for being here today. I have enjoyed it thoroughly. You are a great group of people. How many of what am I going to make? The engines? 4 for the drone. Yes, there'll be 4. That's why there's a second one over here I'm currently building. And I've got stuff being printed right now. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. But like I said, any other questions, any other comments, leave them in the comments below. You can email me. My email is on my bio. You can join the Discord server if you are interested in carrying on the discussion further, or if you just have any ideas, or if you have anything you'd like to say or add to the whole thing. Again, I appreciate everyone that showed up, and I thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope I did well. I hope you guys had some fun, and I hope you subscribe. And I hope to see you all again on the next live. I will be sure to put up a short to let everybody know when the next live is going to be, so you got a heads up. So, with that, I am out, because it's friggin' hot in here. Love every one of you. From DPC, we love you all. We hope to see you again soon, and have a wonderful evening.